Hello, it's Sonia here with the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be doing another 18-inch doll project. I'm going to be using my G hook or 4.25 millimeter hook, and I am going to be using some DK weight yarn here. And this is going to go with a project that I made last week. I did an old pattern of mine that I had made in 2011. So here it is. This is a different one than you saw in the video. This one I'm using the same yarn that I just showed you, and this is the ruffle top here. And we are going to be making some matching pants. So for the ruffle top, I do have a written pattern for that, but for this guy I do not have the written pattern yet for the pants, but I do intend on making one. So why don't we get started here? And this should hopefully fit a variety of 18-inch dolls. 18-inch dolls can slightly vary in size with their body types. We do have American Girl dolls in our house, but there are a whole bunch of different types of 18-inch dolls. So it just depends on the doll that you have. But hopefully this will fit most of the dolls. Alright, so we're going to start by working on the waistband first, and we're going to do some foundation single crochet. So I'm going to chain 2 to get started, and in my second chain from my hook I'm going to insert my hook and pull up a loop. So I have 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and chain 1. I'm going to yarn over and pull through both of those loops. So we've created one foundation single crochet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back in that chain we just made. So here it is right here. I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop in that chain, chain 1, and yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. And I'm going to continue that until I have 44 foundation single crochets. And then we will turn this into a circle. So you can easily see that chain now, how we just go back in there. And the reason why I'm going to use this stitch for the waistband is it has a lot of flexibility, so it's really nice for a waistband type. And some of the pants or shorts that I've made have like ribbing, but we're not going to do that with this project because I don't think it'll be necessary. Alright, so I'm going to keep going working my 44 foundation single crochet. Okay, so here we go. I have my 44 foundation single crochet, and as you can see it has a nice little bit of stretch to it there. So now we need to turn this guy into a circle. So what I like to do is, we want to focus, there we go. I'm going to run my thumb and index finger just down the length of my foundation single crochet so that it doesn't get twisted. I'm going to swing up the other side, bring up the other side, and I am just going to join with a slip stitch. And then we'll be ready to begin round 2. So there we go. We're all set. Okay, so for round 2, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to half double crochet in that same stitch there, that first stitch, and I'm just going to continue to half double crochet all the way around for round 2 here. So again, you will have 44 half double crochet. So I'm going to keep going, working my 44 half double crochet, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I finished up round 2. So I'm not going to join. I'm going to place a stitch marker in that last stitch here. I'm just going to use a scrap piece of yarn to mark that stitch. You can certainly use an actual stitch marker if you have one, but I prefer scraps of yarn. They are my go-tos for stitch markers. Okay, so now what we're going to do for round 3 through 9 is we're just going to half double crochet around and around and around. and we're going to work in continuous rounds. So that means we are not going to join. So I'm just going to jump right in this stitch here and work that half double crochet. Yep, for some reason I don't know what's going with the yarn. There we go. The yarn was being weird. And we're just going to continue to half double crochet around, and then when I get to the end of this round, I'm going to work in the stitch. I'll place my stitch marker again and just jump right back in for round 4 and just keep half double crocheting around until we get to round 9, and then we're going to start to divide. After round 9, we're going to start to divide for the leg holes for our pants. Alright, so I'm going to keep going, working my half double crochet, and I will meet you back at the end of round 9. Okay, so I have worked my 9 rounds here, so let's get ready for round 10. So what we're going to do is we are going to start dividing for the pant legs. So we are going to work 22 half double crochet. So I still have my last stitch marked there. So I am just going to work 22 half double crochet, and then we'll start the dividing for the pant legs. So I'm going to keep going, working my 22 half double crochet, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I have 22 half double crochet worked. So now what we're going to do to complete round 10 is we are going to chain 14. Okay, so I have my 14 chains here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to swing around to our stitch marker. So here is our stitch marker. So our chain 14 is actually the end of round 10. So we're going to be starting round 11. So to get the round started, we are going to half double crochet in the first stitch. So that just means the stitch next to that stitch marker. So here is our stitch that's marked and the one right next to it. We're working that half double crochet. So there's our first stitch for round 11. So now we're just going to continue to half double crochet around until we get to our chain. Okay, so I have worked my 22 half double crochet. So now to complete this round for round 11, and this is the right pant leg that we're working right now, we are going to just work half double crochet in each chain across. So you want to make sure that you work in all 14 chains. So you just want to count to make sure that you have worked 14 stitches in your chain, and you want to work in the chain. However you want to work in the chain, you can. You don't want to work around the chain like that. So we need to work in the chain. So I'm going to keep going, working my 14 stitches in my chain, and then in my last stitch I will place my stitch marker, and you want to make sure that you'll have 36 stitches at the end of this round. So I'm going to keep going here, and I will meet you back at the end of round 11. Okay, so I finished up round 11 and I have 36 stitches. So rounds 12 and 13, and as you can see I placed my stitch marker in that last stitch. We're just going to work half double crochet around for rounds 12 and 13. So again, you want to make sure you have 36 stitches, and we're just going to work half double crochet around for rounds 12 and 13. So I'm going to meet you back at the end of round 13. Okay, so we finished up round 13 there. So now we're going to work round 14. We're going to do a little bit of decreasing. Just want to get this hole just a little bit smaller. So what we're going to do is we're going to half double crochet in our first 4 stitches. So 1, and here is stitch 4. And now we're going to do our decrease stitch. So I've got my yarn over. I'm going to insert my hook in the front loop of my next stitch. I'm going to insert my hook in the front loop of the next one. So I have 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2 of them, yarn over, pull through the remaining 3. So this is a more streamlined half double crochet decrease or together stitch. I just like this way a little bit better than the traditional half double crochet decrease. Okay, so let's do that again. We're going to half double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So I have 4 half double crochet. We're yarning over in the front loop of our next stitch. I'm inserting my hook. Front loop of the next one, I am inserting my hook. So I've got my 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 3, and we're just going to repeat this all the way around. And so at the end of your round 14, you're going to have 30 stitches. And I'm still going to place my stitch marker in my last stitch. So I'm going to keep going here, completing round 14. Okay, so we completed round 14. I've got 30 stitches. So rounds 15 through 17, we are just going to half double crochet around. So still utilizing your stitch marker, so mine is right there. And I'm just going to half double crochet around for rounds 15, 16, and 17. Okay, so I finished up round 17, but I was looking at it and I think I want to work 2 more rounds of just half double crochet. So we're going to keep going, working 2 more, so that will be the end of row 19. So I'm going to keep going here, just working half double crochet around, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I finished my round 19. So what we want to do is we actually will join in the back loop of our first stitch. And now we are going to get ready to work round 20. So we're going to chain 1 and we're going to single crochet in that back loop, and we're going to single crochet all the way around in the back loops, and we will have 30 single crochet. So I'm going to keep going here, working my 30 single crochet, and we will be joining, I'm going to take this guy out. We will be joining in our first single crochet with a slip stitch to complete round 20. Okay, so I worked my 30 single crochet. I've already joined in both loops in my first stitch, and now we're ready for round 21. So to begin round 21, we're going to chain 5. So I have my 5 chains, and we are going to skip 2 stitches here. So 1, 2, and we're going to work a double crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to start or repeat. We're chaining 2. We're going to skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the next. So here's our repeat. We got our double crochet, we're chaining 2. We're going to skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the next. So we're going to do this all the way around. Okay, so I'm finishing up round 21. I'm going to chain 2. And then here is our chain 5. So on top of that chain 3, so I usually just like to count from the bottom, 1, 2, and 3. On top of there, I am going to work a slip stitch to turn that into that little block that we want, that mesh block. So now we're going to be ready for round 22. We're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet in that same stitch there, right on top of that double crochet. Then we're going to work 2 single crochet in the next chain 2 space, and now we're ready for our repeat here. So we're going to work a single crochet on top of that double crochet and work 2 single crochet in that chain 2 space, and we're just going to keep going around, and you should have 30 single crochet again. Okay, so now I'm at the end of round 22. We need to join. So we're going to join in the back loop of that first single crochet. And now we are going to be repeating rounds 20. So here is round 20. That's a single crochet row in the back loop. So we're going to do that for round 23 here. And we're going to be repeating round 21, which is that mesh round, the blocks. So I'm going to chain 1, single crochet in that same stitch there, and then I'm going to continue around working in the back loops, and then round 24 again I'm going to be repeating round 21, working my 10 chain 2 spaces around. So I'm going to go do that and I'll meet you back at the end of round 24. Okay, so I finished up round 24. So what we're going to be doing for rounds 25 through 28, we're going to be repeating rounds 22 through 24. So round 25 is a round 22. That is that single crochet round in the mesh in the chain 2 spaces. And then round 26, we are going to be repeating round 23, so that's working in the back loops. And then round 27 is going to be another chain 2 space round. Then for round 28, we're going to be repeating round 22, working in those chain 2 spaces. And then you will join in both loops and you can cut your yarn. So I'm going to go do that and I will meet you back at the end of round 28. Okay, so here we go. I have worked my 28 rounds here and I cut my yarn at the end of round 28. It was a single crochet round. Okay, so now we're going to work on the left leg hole and then we'll do the ruffles at the end here. So what we want to do is we want to have our our back facing. So this is the back here. Here's our tail, and here is where we made that chain. So we're going to insert our hook into that first unused chain, which is right here. So finding that unused loop, and I'm going to attach my yarn there. So this will be round 10 of the left leg hole here. Okay, so now let's get going. We're going to chain 1 and we are going to half double crochet in that first unused chain, and we're going to half double crochet. Actually, I don't think I got the first one. Let me get the first one. There's the first one. Sorry about that. I'm looking through my little lens here and missed it. So I'm chaining 1, getting back on track and working that half double crochet. And now we're going to continue across our chain and we're going to have our 14 half double crochet because we chained 14. So just working in that unused loop. So that's why we worked in the chain and not around it, so that we could work on the other leg hole here. Okay, so I'm going to keep going here, working across my chain, and I will meet you back. Alright, so we're still in round 10 of our left leg hole. So as you can see, there's a big gap here. So if we just jumped into the next half double crochet, which would be right here, we would kind of have like a hole. So we're going to add a stitch because we have 36 stitches for the right, and we will get back to that, but we're going to have 2 extra ones for this first round. So I've got my yarn over. I'm just going to insert my hook into that, just grab a loop of that gap there, and I'm going to insert my hook into another loop. So just grab a loop, and we've got our 4 loops. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 3. So we're making a decrease or together stitch, but we're closing up that gap. And now we're going to go back and we're going to work in our half double crochet. So it should be 22. So I'm going to keep going, working in my half double crochet across my 22, and then we will have another gap that we will need to take care of. So I am going to do that, and I'll meet you back when I get to that gap. Okay, so I'm at the end here. So as you can see, we've got another big gap. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just grab a loop to close that guy up. So you can see kind of like a hole. So I'm actually going to grab a loop down here and bring that up to close that up, and I'll grab one. I think here should be okay. And yarn over, pull through the two. So you can just kind of eyeball it to where you need to grab, and then yarn over, pull through the remaining three. And now we are ready to begin round 11 of the left leg hole. So I'm going to place a stitch marker because we're going to work in continuous rounds. So I've got my stitch marker in there, and so now we need to work round 11, and we have 2 extra stitches. We have 38 stitches and we want to have 36. So we will be doing 2 decreases. So I'm going to work half double crochet in that first stitch to begin round 11. And then I'm going to do a decrease. So yarning over, front loop, pulling through the 2, then pulling through the 3, and then I'm going to continue to half double crochet around until I get to my last 3 stitches. Oh, sorry, my stitch marker is getting in the way. Get out of the way. It's a very long one. So again, I'm sorry, I'm going to half double crochet around till I get to my last 3 stitches. I'm going to work a decrease and then half double crochet in that last stitch. So I'm going to keep going here until I have 3 stitches left, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I have 3 stitches left. We're going to do that. Sorry, I bumped the cameras. So we're going to do that decrease. So front loop, pull through the 2, pull through the 3, and then I have 1 more stitch to go, and we will be back to our original 36 stitches that we had on the other pant leg for the right pant leg. Okay, so now we're ready for round 12. So rounds 12 through 14, we are just going to half double crochet around, working even. And I'm just going to give you a heads up. So for the left pant leg, we have 28 rounds for the right, but for the left, we are actually going to have 29 rounds. So don't think that that's wrong. It is not. It will be correct. It's just the way it is. You have to add an extra round so that the legs look even. So I just wanted to keep that in mind. We're going to be doing a lot of the same stuff over on this one that we did here, but we will have 1 extra round. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going rounds 12 through 14, working half double crochet around. So I will meet you back at the end of round 14. Okay, so I worked my 14 rounds. So what we're going to do now is we're going to decrease like we did on the right leg hole. So we're going to work 4 half double crochet, so here we go. We've got 4 half double crochet. So we are going to insert our hook in that front loop of the next 2 stitches here. We have our 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 3, and we're just going to repeat that around. So we're going to work 4 half double crochet, and then we will work the decrease or together stitch all the way around. So then at the end of this round 15, we are going to have 30 stitches. So I'm going to keep going and I will meet you back. Okay, so I finished up my round 15. So round 16 through 20, we're just going to work even. We're just going to half double crochet around in our 30 stitches. So I'm going to keep going here. I'll meet you back at the end of round 20. Okay, so here we go. I worked up to round 20. So what we're going to do is we are going to join in the back loop of our next stitch, our first stitch there. I'm going to take out that stitch marker, I don't need it. And now we're ready for round 21. So we're going to chain 1 and we're going to single crochet in that stitch and just single crochet around in the back loop for round 21. Okay, so this is the end of my round 21 and we're going to join in both loops. So what we want to do for rounds 22 through 29 is we're going to be repeating rounds 21 through 28 that we did on the right leg. So our next round is going to be the mesh one, and then we do the 2 single crochet rounds, but the one we work in that back loop, and then the mesh, and we just continue. So we are working rounds 22 through 29, but we're going to be repeating rounds 21 through 28 because, as I said before, you're going to have one extra round on the leg hole, and it does work out in the end. It's even though there's an extra one. So I will meet you back at the end of round 29. Okay, so I already cut my yarn. This is the end of my round 29 here, and I joined with a slip stitch and I cut my yarn. So now we are going to work on the ruffles of our pants here. So what we're going to do is the ruffles will be the same for each pant leg. So you want to just go in the back of your work. So here is our back where our tail is at the top, and we're going to insert our hook into the back or the unused loop from either round 20 or 21. Okay, so what we're going to do is I've got my hook in that unused loop, and we are going to attach our yarn, and we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a half double crochet in that stitch. And you want to make sure when you're attaching the yarn that the waistband here, this is the waist area, is facing you. So you don't want to be doing it this way. You want to be doing it this way. Okay, so we've got our 1 half double crochet. We're going to work another one, and then in the next stitch we are working 2 half double crochet in that same stitch. So we're doing an increase here. Okay, so now we're going to start our repeat here. So we're working half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, so 1 in each. And then in the next one we're going to work 2 half double crochet, and we're just going to be repeating that all the way around. So 1 stitch in the next 2, and then 2 stitches in the next. So 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and then 2 in the next one. And you just be repeating that around. So I'm going to meet you back at the end of this round. Okay, so now we're ready for round 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, half double crochet right in that stitch, and we're just going to half double crochet all the way around, and we're going to do that for rounds, this is round 2, so rounds 2 through 4, you're just half double crocheting all the way around. And then we'll have one more round to go for round 5, so I will meet you back at the end of round 4. Okay, so this is my last stitch, and what we're going to do is, well, I'm going to change to another color. We have one more round to go, so this is the end of round 4. Now you don't have to change to another color if you don't want to, but I think it's nice, just adds a little extra something. And I'm making this to match the ruffle top I made, so I'm just joining with a slip stitch with my other color. and then you can cut your main color here. So we have one more round to go. We're going to chain one, and we're just going to work reverse single crochet or crab stitch, and I do have a tutorial that goes over this stitch. Basically it is what it says. We're doing a single crochet, but we're doing it in the opposite direction that we normally do. So if you need a little extra help with this stitch, I'll place a link in the description box that goes over this stitch more, but we're just working reverse single crochet all the way around, and then at the end of the round we can cut our yarn. And so we're going to repeat rounds 1 through 5 in 2 more times. So you're going to have 3 ruffles for each pant leg. So in the unused loops here, you're going to do the same thing that we did here, and then in these unused loops there, and obviously you need to do it for the other pant leg. So you're going to have 6 ruffles total. So I will meet you back when I've completed all of my ruffles. Okay, so here are my finished pants. I used 3 different colors here because I didn't have enough. I was going to do all of the white and I didn't have enough, so we do pink, white, and pink, and I actually think it turned out really cute. And I did make a matching top, which you will see in the intro and at the end. And I tried these on the doll. They fit really well and it looks super cute. I'm really pleased with how these funky little ruffle pants turned out. So of course when you're done you'll need to weave in any loose ends, and if you need to block your project, definitely do that. But I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.